You're rejecting your own belief.
The problem is you don't even know that, Thunderfoot, because you could be wrong about everything, remember?
His mind could be controlled right now. So could concordance.
And so could
But
yours,
you are-
but apparently not.
How do you know that?
Reality,
argument.
you are rejecting God.
Again, we do not argue that. We are not wrong about everything. My mind is
Aaron,
not being controlled.
How do you know that?
If this is an artificial reality, which I have told you, I do not believe, the rules still apply. We still can know some things for certain. Quit twisting that around into a lie. I know you've taken up your daddy's business, but you're not lying on my show after I prove you wrong.
Hey, Aaron, you're talking about it. You're talking about you don't. Okay.
Aaron, how do you know that your mind isn't being controlled?
Well, whether it is or not is an irrelevance.
I have no reason to believe that it is.
You are rejecting
I
Christianity.
have no reason to believe that it is.
Okay, that's an
But the
argument for
primary
ignorance.
answer.
Yeah,
That's
we're
an argument
going
for
over.
primary-
Sorry, to be fair, we're going over old ground. We've got the new court.
I have no reason. Hey! It's not a point of ignorance for me to say that I have no reason to believe something. However, I do understand that the mindset of faith, being wholly deceptive, will convince someone that they cannot be wrong, no matter how wrong they have always been proven to be repeatedly. And that is what you're demonstrating and have demonstrated on the show. I proved that I did not say that, and you kept repeating that I did say that. No, I didn't. Play back the recording. I never said what you said I said.
Could you be wrong about
You
that?
have to distort it because you're entirely dishonest throughout.
So, Si,
be wrong
I've got
about
to
that?
ask you. I've got to ask you, Si. Can you tell me
No,
what First Peter
I
3:15 is?
can't about that.
Okay, thank you. And that's exactly what you accused Eric of, so I thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Thunderfoot.
Can you tell me what First Peter 3:15 says?
He is wrong about it. We can show that he's wrong about. And I can show where Eric lies about things, like me admitting the possibility of God. For example, I can show where you're wrong. And then you can't show where I'm wrong, so you have to twist what I said into the opposite of what I said, even after I clarified it a half a dozen times. Get the point.
Okay, I think we've
Yeah,
got the
but
point.
Aaron.
Thunderfoot.
Yeah,
So Eric, what does First Peter 3:15 say?
Well, let's not play a guessing game. Tell us.
No.
does it
What
say?
it says is you should always be ready to give an answer, and it's been persistently a point throughout this entire Block TV session that you have not been willing to give an answer.
I think quite the opposite. I think I asked you many times, and you
Asked me many
your
times.
own-
You did not give an answer.
Your own interview there. How many times did I ask you legitimate, logical questions that you refused to answer?
Well,
now,
I'm not getting
if you
into a
wanna-
bickering game
I get
about
you.
this. No, stop. People will make their own decisions about whether questions were answered or not. Let's move on to the next caller. Ayol, are you with us? I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, I don't care. It's been pronounced in many different ways. Okay, I've made a few footnotes here. Let's hope I get what I want across. First of all, the question about can God exist is a problematic question because, first of all, you need to tell me what God is. Now, I understand from what I've heard several times, God is the sum of all good or the best conceivable thing. Well, here's the problem with the notion of, for example, God is the best thing we can think of or something. Well, as far as I know, everything is better with a side order of fries. Therefore, that means God would be better with the side order of fries. However, our first assumption was that God is the best thing ever. Therefore, by the mere fact that there is something better than God, we have proven a contradiction in the definition of God. Therefore, your definition of God as God being the best thing ever is has an internal contradiction in it.
We're not using
I
the
can answer that.
We're not using the ontological argument. It's irrelevant. We're not using the ontological argument.
Yeah, you're defining something that we are not putting forth.
Okay, fair enough. The next, it is William Lane Craig that usually uses that, but
That's right.
Okay, yeah, I know. Okay, the thing that was mentioned here several times is how do you know you're not someone's crazy who is mentally institute and just thinking that or imagining everything that you see around you? Your answer to that was basically God has told me that I'm not. However, as far as I know, that is what several of the crazy people there are saying. So just by saying that is not enough for me to tell the difference between you and someone who is a crazy person. Now, I know, let me just make one point clear here, something that I like to, basically, first of all, I'm a deist. Okay, I have to talk a little bit quieter. My point here is I am a deist, or at least that's how I define myself as. However, in any argument, I will go on the atheist side, as I cannot prove my why I am a deist. The reason that the reason the basis of my belief, I can say maybe, is something that I like to call zero knowledge proof, side of mathematics. Basically, to see that some things can be proven to you in such a way that you cannot pass on that proof to others, and you cannot tell a person, for example, I can tell you, I have seen the proof of God. However, I am unable to pass that proof on to you. Now, the only thing you can say to that is, okay, fair enough. Please accept the fact that I don't believe you. And that is the position I'm trying to push whenever I am in an argument or a debate like this. You believe God exists, you believe the Bible is true, you believe the Bible says everyone knows God exists. Please accept the fact that I don't have to accept that, because as far as I know, you could be just a crazy person.
I'm going to cut through you, because I think the gist of your question is a point that, again, I was going to raise when Sai says in interviews and also on his website that we all know that God exists. I think that's the gist of it. Sai, how do you justify that when you've got a number of people, all of whom are saying, no, I don't accept that?
I believe God over them.
And I believe the ghost that never lies over your God.
Yeah, that's
you're not
fine.
an
And if you want to come on an atheistic podcast, and because you're the one who said that it wasn't a God, and then you're saying that it's just like our God, so you're saying it is a God. And if you want to come on an atheist podcast and propose a deity as your justification, I'm perfectly fine with that.
It's not a deity, it's a ghost.
But you just said it's just like my God, and if it's just like my God, then it is a deity.
And no. The only thing that it shares with your God, well, actually, your God's a lie, and I know that your God's a lie because the ghost that never lies tells me so.
Hey, I have no problem with an atheist
the
making
thing
that.
is that the ghost that never lies only deals with absolute truth. It's the only thing it deals with.
Yep. I have no problem with that. If that's what you want to posit on an atheistic podcast, that you believe in the ghost that never lies is your justification for truth, I have no problem.
And this undermines your entire worldview.
I'm
It
actually
shows
thrilled
that your
with that.
God doesn't exist. It shows
actually
that
thrilled
your
with that.
entire
Okay,
worldview
we've been here
is based-
before. Stop it, gentlemen. We've been here before. Ayel, any last point? Because I've got two more callers that I desperately want to try and squeeze in as quickly as possible.
Okay, I'll make my last point quickly. The thing about logic, does logic precede God, or is logic determined from God? The answer to that, from what I heard here, is that you're saying logic is a nature of God, but God cannot do anything that will contradict logic. Therefore, that means logic does precede God. So God could not make 1 + 1 = 3, because that is not in his nature. So God is bound by the laws of logic. Therefore, God is bound by the laws of nature. Therefore,
No.
why do you
The laws
need
of
God?
logic. The
Okay,
laws
we've
of
got your
logic are
point. I'm
not the
going to
laws.
remove you. Let Sai respond and bring the next caller in. Sai.
The laws of logic are not the laws of nature, and God is bound by his nature, which is logical. And I have to go in just a very few minutes, so hopefully we can wrap this up.
Okay, we never got an answer to if you see a guy picking up sticks and God says, stone that guy to death because he deserves death for picking up those stones. Do you think that's just?
We did get an answer.
Yes,
The
if
answer
God-
was,
if God-
God tells you it's just, it's just.
Yes, that's correct.
So molesting a child would be just if God told you to do
Well,
so.
I'm saying God wouldn't do that, but anything that God says is
If
just.
God can tell you to kill someone for picking up sticks, he can tell you to molest children. And it's interesting to note that God doesn't say anything about molesting children being wrong. He
It wasn't
says things
him picking
about
up sticks.
picking up sticks being evil enough to warrant
Yeah.
death, but he doesn't say. He says, "Thou shalt respect thy parents," but he doesn't say, "Thou shalt not molest thy kids."
Well, honor your brother. We have to honor our fellow man. But the thing is, this person
But not
was
the
killed.
children.
Hang on a second.
Not the little children.
This person was not killed for picking up sticks. He was killed for defying God to his face. And the thing is, when people
He
bring
was
up,
killed for picking up sticks.
hang on, yeah, defying God to his face. But the thing is, what I tell people, if you think that these
Why
things
God-
happen,
defy God
let
to
me
his
finish,
face?
man. Let me finish. If you think that these things that happened in the Old Testament were bad, I say, if you die unrepentant, man, stick around.
Yeah, okay,
Well,
let's
then you don't
let's
believe
call
they
up.
got-
I have to
No,
tell you
CPR,
something.
we've
please.
been
What's out? There's this
So
invisible
silent.
magic.
No, next caller, Hans.